More now of my exclusive interview with the newly minted Caterpillar CEO, Doug Oberhelman. CAT, as it is known, is one of the companies that is most sensitive to economic cycles. It tends to come out faster, going deeper, because it's at the construction end. Its machines go in the dirt, so to speak. Oberhelman says he doesn't believe all those doom and gloom economists out there calling for a double dip.
We're all watching that unemployment rate. That's the driver of housing. I mean, if you look at housing starts, and we're calling for about 675,000 housing starts in the U.S., the lowest since 1945. The key driver behind that's the unemployment rate. We've got to get people back to work. In our case, we're adding a few people this year. We hope to add about 9,000 total. So all in all, the economy has got to reflate. Anything we can do to stimulate and make the economy go, we should do. And so while we're slow at it coming out this time, it is coming slowly.
But do you think it's the White House job, or is it the Fed's job?
Well, I think it's all of the above. It's the Fed job, it's the White House job, U.S. government across the board, and private business as well. And lots of those entities are stepping up and getting it done. It's just slow to come this time.
But do you think more needs to be done? More stimulus has to be added in?
I think we have to be careful with more stimulus, and if we do more stimulus, it ought to be very focused in things that immediately put people back to work. And in our case, obviously a highway bill would be very important for Caterpillar, certainly, but there have been lots of studies over the years that a highway bill puts people immediately back to work in the dirt, upgrades to highways, upgrades to bridges, whatever it may be. And we're frankly lobbying pretty hard for that extension and a new bill in the spring of next year as well.
What about, though, for small and medium-sized businesses, which are a huge part of your overall business? I know you're helping finance some of those customers of yours who are small and medium-sized. A lot of criticism that the Obama administration is not doing enough for them. Do you share that same criticism?
Well, I would say that, with the state of liquidity today for small businesses, and we see them on the supply side, many of our suppliers are not mom and pop necessarily, but fairly small businesses. We see them on our customer side. A lot of the contractors in this country are very small. They're worried about health care costs, they're worried about tax rates, and they're worried about the next job. Our number one complaint we get from contractors these days is too many bidders for a job. Prices are so low we can't compete. We simply need to stimulate demand in many ways. But yeah, certainly we'd be all for a lower tax rate stimulus for a period of time to get things going. Again, I come back to the highway bill. We've talked about that early and often for our industry and our segment. Could really help that and get it moving.
But do you share the view that if we don't extend those Bush tax cuts, that could be devastating for these mom and pop operations?
I think if we don't extend the Bush tax cuts, we risk a lot worse situation than we have today.
Okay.
And I don't know that we've got to extend them forever, because I think there's going to have to be a balance between revenue raising and government spending reduction. But if we take a big increase, as could happen the first of the year, I worry about the impact on that and the policy it drives and the anti-stimulus it has on the economy. And I do think between now and the end of the year, reasonable minds will prevail on that.